Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are parked right outside Barnes & Noble. I decided to take you guys with me book shopping because I have a few gift cards that I got for Christmas and I'm so excited to use them. I've been like itching to go book shopping. So today's the day and I decided to take you guys with me, and then I'm also going to do a book haul at the end of this video, kind of showing you the books I've gotten recently and make this like a 2-in-1 kind of video. So really excited. I do have my eyes set on a few books. I think there is an Encyclopedia of Fairies by Emily Wilde. That's one of them. I also want to go and look at the historical fiction section and see if I can find anything that piques my interest. I'm trying to dabble in more genre and not just read solely young adult books, fantasy books, romance books, that kind of thing. I'm trying to branch out, read more mystery, historical fiction, literary fiction, maybe some classics. So yeah, so I don't really know what other books I know off the top of my head that I want. So I'm just gonna really take my time, go through each aisle and look at covers, like maybe take a few books and sit and read the synopsis or a few pages off of each one and figure out which ones I really want. And then I'll take them back home and I'll show you everything I got, as well as books that I've collected over the last month or so from like going book shopping, going to thrift stores, and yeah. So yeah, that's what this video is going to be about. If you haven't already, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. And without further ado, let's go book shopping. All right, and we are back from the bookstore and I got so many goodies. I'm so excited to show you all the books that I got at Barnes & Noble and some other books that I got just over the holiday season. Shout out to my little sisters, by the way, who gifted me some Barnes & Noble gift cards. Thank you, Abby and Ashley. But as you can see, we have quite a few books to talk about. So we're gonna start with what I got at Barnes & Noble first, and then I'll get into the others. So like I said in the intro of this video, I am trying to diversify my reading content for this year. Last year, I definitely read more YA fantasy and romance, and this year I still want to read those genres, but I do want to branch out. And the first thing that caught my eye at Barnes & Noble right when I walked in was actually a book I read on Audible, and that was The Maid by Nita Prose, which I hate when they put stickers on books. Ugh! But yes, I did read this book earlier in 2022 and I love this. I think I gave it a 5-star rating. But yeah, this is a mystery about a maid in a very wealthy hotel. She's kind of like on the spectrum. Maybe Asperger's, but it is a murder mystery. One of the guests at this hotel turns up dead and it immediately becomes a homicide investigation. And so we are reading this through the eyes of one of the maids at this hotel. I wanted to have this in my collection even though I read it on Audible, so that's why I got this one. Similar to that, I also picked up The Housemaid, and this is by Frida McFadden. I've heard good things about this book. The back little synopsis is first person. She is a housemaid at this really beautiful home, and the wife and husband that she works for are very mysterious. Something happens, she gets locked in her bedroom that only locks from the outside. But the very last sentence here says, I reassure myself the Winchesters don't know who I really am and they don't know what I'm capable of, ... So I'm really excited to read this. Again, it's another short novel, and it was also buy one get one 50% off. So we'll see how it goes, but I'm very, very excited to read this. Then we picked up Saints by Adrienne Young. I'm so excited to have this because I loved Fable and Namesake. That was such a unique read for me in the YA fantasy genre. I don't even know if it's fantasy. I mean, I guess it is, but it's like, it has like pirates and gemstones and adventure and mystery and maps, and I really, really loved it. I believe this is going to be kind of like a prequel because we have Saint, who is Fable's father, and I believe it's his story, so you don't have to have read this or read the other two to read this. I'm not really sure, but I just wanted to have this, even if I don't love it. Like, come on, this cover is beautiful. I just love it so much. I'm so excited I have it, and I will be reading this maybe on the beach sometime because I read those on the beach and I really loved it. So it's giving beach vibes. Some people like to read romances on the beach, and I like to read pirate books on the beach. Then I wanted to do something a little different. I have been in the mood for some Regency romance, some books that kind of get me in the feels of like Jane Austen, but I didn't want them to be super spicy like Bridgerton books and other historical romances. So I went to the Christian section, the religious section at the store, and they had a lot of like Christian fiction books. And I saw this, I read the first couple of pages, and I thought it sounded pretty interesting. I like the writing style and the synopsis. So this book is called A Defense of Honor by Christy Ann Hunter, and it is a Regency romance. And it was in a Christian section, so I'm assuming it's just clean. There's not going to be spice. It's probably going to do a lot of fade to black, and it's going to be way more in line with the like what takes place in books like Pride and Prejudice, Sense and Sensibility. There's not a lot of action going on. There's not a lot of angst, if you know what I mean. So I'm so excited to read this. I think that I want to give Christian fiction books a try and see if it's something that I would be interested in and add to my collection of books. The synopsis of this says, when Catherine Fitzgilbert turned her back on London society more than a decade ago, she determined never to set foot in a ballroom again. But when business takes her to London and she's forced to run for her life, she stumbles upon not only a glamorous ballroom, but also Graham, Lord Wharton. What should have been a chance encounter becomes more as Graham embarks on a search for his friend's missing sister and is convinced Kit knows more about the girl than she's telling. After meeting Graham, Kit finds herself wishing things have been different for the first time in her life, but what she wants can't matter. Long ago, she dedicated herself to helping women escape the same scorn that drove her from London and to raising the innocent children caught in the crossfire. But as much as she desperately wishes to tell Graham everything, the risk of revealing the truth may come at too high a price for those she loves. And some of the quotes on the back say it's Regency romance at its best, a lovely addition to the Regency game. And yeah, I'm excited to read this, and I will probably make a dedicated video to Christian fiction romance books, and I will give you my complete thoughts in another video. And then the last book I picked up at Barnes & Noble was Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies by Heather Fawcett, I believe. This cover is so pretty. Very, very pretty. And I think this is so cute. It reminds me of, it's giving Once Upon a Broken Heart meets Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, you know? So in this book, we have a Cambridge professor, Emily Wilde, who's writing the first encyclopedia of fairy lore. And when she goes to this village, she's like super ready to just focus, get to her work, but she doesn't realize that one of her like academic rivals is also going to be coming into town. He's dashing, insufferably handsome, Wendell Bambleby, what a name. And he manages to charm the townsfolk, muddle Emily's research, and utterly confound and frustrate her. But as Emily gets closer to uncovering the secrets of the hidden ones, the most elusive of fairies, she also finds herself on the trail of another mystery. Who is Wendell, and what does he really want? To find the answer, she must unlock the greatest mystery of all, her own heart. So I'm so excited to read this book. I don't know what book I want to start with next because this looks really good. The Housemaid looks really good. I don't know, guys. I think we're gonna have a really fun reading year. Let me know if you've read this book, what your thoughts are. I'm really excited to talk about this because it is just gorgeous and I'm expecting it to be a 5-star read for sure. The rest of the books that I picked up were from different thrift stores that I went to. And if you guys are in the lookout or on the lookout for book shopping and you don't want to spend a ton of money, I would definitely recommend going to your local Goodwill, thrift store. Some libraries also have little bookstores of used books that you can check out. And I was able to find a ton of really good books. So I'm gonna share them now. First, we have A Man Called Ove. This is a movie out right now with Tom Hanks. I think it has a different name, but it's based off of this book, and it's by Fredrik Backman. I'm really interested in reading this because it sounds very wholesome, like it's gonna make you cry. And I believe this is a literary fiction, and it's about a grumpy old man who basically has two very loud, eccentric, extroverted neighbors that are sisters, and it's just kind of their relationship, and I think it's going to be in his perspective. So I'm really excited to read this because the movie sounded really sweet as well, and sometimes you're just in the mood for reading a book that's going to make you cry. So whenever I get in that mood, I will be sure to pick this up and read it. This next book I got because I have 2 more books in the same format, and it is Liane Moriarty's The Husband's Secret. So I also have 9 Perfect Strangers, which I also picked up at a thrift store, and Big Little Lies. So I have 3 of her books, and they're all in like the same type of cover, so like style. So I liked that they all match, but I loved watching Big Little Lies and 9 Perfect Strangers on TV. So I wanted the books for myself, and The Husband's Secret I have not read, so I'm excited to read this again. Mystery, I loved her writing. I love the TV adaptations as well. So I figured why not? And I'm pretty sure all of these books were like $1 at most. And if you haven't watched those shows yet, I highly recommend. They are on Hulu and HBO. The next book I picked up is The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman, and I wanted to read this because it reminded me of Only Murders in the Building, and it is about a kind of like a true crime group they call themselves the Thursday Murder Club, but there is actually a murder that takes place in their town, and they find themselves in the middle of this case and they're trying to solve it. What's really cute is that they're all senior citizens, so I can just tell this is going to be very witty, very sarcastic and funny, and I'm just really excited to read this check out this author because he does have some more books. So if I like this one and his writing style, then I may pick up his other works. And then these last 3 books I got at Target because they're having like a big sale on, I think, Black Friday. So we have The Midnight Library by Matt Haig, which again is another literary fiction or historical fiction book, kind of like magical realism. So it takes place in this library, and our main character is Nora, who is kind of just down in the dumps. Her life hasn't been going the way she wanted it to, but when she gets into this library, every time she opens a book, it shows her what her life would be like in a different situation. So if she had done things differently in her life, what would it look like? And I just love the themes here. We're talking about, you know, the choices that you make in life and how they affect you, how they affect others, the different possibilities that can come from just one simple decision that you make in your life. We talk about regrets, and yeah, I think the themes are really cool in this book, so I wanted to pick this up and read it sometime this year. Then we also got the Dictionary of Lost Words. This is part of Reese's book club, and I do like some of the books that she rates or puts on her book club, so I wanted to get this one a shot as well. This is a historical fiction about the Oxford English Dictionary and how they try to take out or hide a lot of words from the dictionary that are in reference to women. And so our main character goes on a search for words that have been redacted from this dictionary and kind of making it into her own dictionary. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this. I think this sounds really cool, and if this is something that really happened, then I'm just wow, I would be blown away. So I'm gonna do some digging on like the history behind this book, but yeah, I wanted to have this in my collection as well. And last but not least, we have One Italian Summer by Rebecca Searle. She wrote The Dinner List, which I've read years ago, and it was so good. And my sister-in-law kept telling me to read more of her books, so I finally bit the bullet and I got this one. And if I ever go somewhere that looks like this, this is a book I will take with me. So John, if you want to book a plane trip to Italy, I already have the book in mind for that. So yeah, but I'm really excited to read this. It is another kind of, not magical realism, but kind of. We have a main character who has gone through something very tragic in her life, the loss, I think, of her mother. And so she decides to take a trip to a town in Italy. And when she gets there, she sees kind of like the reincarnation, I guess, of her mom when she was like 30 years old. So she gets to see her mom in a different light, like as her own age. And I just think it's going to be very thought-provoking and emotional, and I really like her writing style, so yes, I'm excited to read more of her books. But you guys, that is gonna be it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed going book shopping with me and talking about all the books that I've picked up in the last few months. I'm very excited to get to start reading these and doing a lot of book reviews. I probably will be doing more in the future, so stay tuned for that. Yeah, and let me know in the comments if you have read any of these books or plan to. Let me know your thoughts on them. But yeah, that's gonna be it for me today. If you haven't already, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe down below. And until next time, I will catch you in my next video. Bye!